Hello and welcome to this video where we're going to touch upon a topic that is super viral these days, and that is what you can see on the screen, Clawdbot or Moltbot. Just for some confusion or sorting that out, Clawdbot was the previous name. They were reached out to by Anthropic because the Claude was too similar to Claude from actual Anthropic, the large language model, so they just rebranded to Moltbot. So what this is going to be is that this is going to be a tutorial for introducing you to Clawdbot or Moltbot and how you can use this to actually build your first AI employee. So this is going to be a first video on this, and we can go way more in detail about that, but I want to make it simple. So I want to introduce you to a couple of things that I want to cover in this video. And the first is, what is this? How does it work and what can it do? And then I'm going to give you, hopefully, a couple of samples to explain and show you how this can do research and figure out things on the go, and actually prove that it's kind of like a AI employee. So first off, what is Clawdbot or Moltbot? So there's a lot of ways to explain this, but in technical terms, it's an AI agent. But then again, no one is really interested in an AI agent. It's the buzzword these days. What it is, bottom line, is that it acts as an employee. It acts as a person that runs 24/7. So if you have any, let's say, recurring tasks, admin tasks, logistic tasks, checking things, data entry, writing reports, you can teach this system to do those things, and it can run on the cadence and schedule that you define. And what this also does is that it kind of gives us what we were promised years ago in terms of having an AI employee. And what we use it for is reporting, aggregating data, doing research, checking project status, giving us internal pings, keeping teams accountable, pushing teams in terms of if due dates are passed or due, following up clients on due task, these types of things. So there's a lot of things that this is able to do. And the beauty is that you can teach it what it needs to do. It can learn that, and it kind of creates a SOP or handbook for how to do those things that it has learned. And it's able to reuse that when that task is necessary or that thing is necessary to do. One of the things that makes this different is that you can interact with it in a way simpler fashion than previously. Like you have systems like Claude Code using the terminal. I'm just going to bring that up, like using this to be able to talk with it and stuff like that. But then again, that's for the technical people. What we want to have is that we want to have a simple way of interacting and interfacing with it, teaching it what we want, for it to be able to plug in and see what we're doing, and then basically being integrated into what we do. And if you're a solo entrepreneur or if you have a really small team, this could work as your VA. It could work as your executive assistant. Or if you want to really go a bit batshit crazy, what you can do is that you can make this into a full-on or full employee being responsible for client relationships, following up clients, project management, syncing and coordinating your team internally, writing your marketing, being your content team. Your creativity is the limits because this system can be taught and it learns. And what I like with this is that I use Telegram for a lot of different things. So I've integrated this into Telegram. You can do that for WhatsApp. You can do that for Signal. You can even add it to your iMessages. You can give it access to your entire computer and have it work on your computer with you. You can buy a separate computer and see it work on that one. There's a lot of people buying MacBook Minis, giving Clawdbot or Moltbot full access to that computer to actually do things on that one. Personally, I use a server online because it costs me $5 a month. Now, one of the things that I just wanted to show as well is the message I sent it. So before I started recording this, one of the things that I asked it was if it could explain how Clawdbot works, the heartbeat, it's actually heartbeat, system skills, memory, identity, soul, user, and agent, and how you can learn from interactions and research to evolve. So I'm going to go more into these in like a structured format, but basically, it has a couple of core structures to it. You have the soul and the identity. The soul basically defines the personality and the approach that the agent or the AI employee takes when interacting with you. While identity holds kind of like the basic information by being, okay, your name is Clawdbot, you're a straightforward assistant, and user is the information that the AI has on you, the user interacting with it. And depending on if you have it, let's say, in Discord or Slack, which we also have, it's in a group. So the entire company can interact with it. Or if it is in Telegram, like the one that you see here, it's me communicating to it. So it's very one-on-one or one-to-many. So it will learn about everyone interacting with it. So it will learn your preferences, how you speak, how you address it. It will learn about what you tell it about yourself, all of these things. If you tell it your preference, if you tell it about what you do, it's going to learn how to put that into both its memory, but also how it understands you. The second thing that it has is a memory system. And this is basically 3 layers of memory. What happened this day? That's one thing in terms of the daily log. What has it done? What has been talked about? These different things. So that you can address and ask it about what was done this day and previous days. It also has a long-term memory. And this is more the curated knowledge of, okay, what have we been working on? What projects? What things have we set up? These types of things, where it every single day takes what has been done and updates its core memory. And then you have entity knowledge. So in things like areas, projects, people, companies, things that has been done are also saved. So you have the soul and the identity of it, you have the memory, and then you now have the skills and agents. So let's say that one of the things that we do every single week is that we have an end of week Friday team call. In that team call, one of the things that we do, or there's really 2 things necessary for it. One is keeping all of the team accountable by submitting their KPIs and OKRs and progress of that week, and also what was good and what was bad. The second thing that we do is that we aggregate the week's KPIs and performance in terms of lead generation, lead conversion, nurture, post-performance, impressions, so that we can see how things are going. So what we've set this up to do is that it basically every single Friday at noon, it writes an aggregated report from our database and from the performance of what we've done, of how many posts we posted, the reactions and comments and leads that we generated from this. And also, it is able to query and ping and hold all of the team members accountable to actually submit that OKR or KPI and performance report every single week, so that we don't need to actually get people to submit that on the end of week calls, but we can just basically have a review of what's been submitted. So there is a lot of small things like that. So when I wanted to teach Clawdbot about this, what I basically said was, hey Clawdbot, we're using and doing this every single week on every Friday internally with the team. How do you approach building a skill for this? Because as I mentioned in the beginning, a skill is a repeatable playbook on how to do some things. So it then took that, it queried me, asked me more questions, and then it built out a skill for those different things. So whenever I then need to have that data, it runs that every single Friday at noon. So it does the task that I wanted to do. Now, agents are a bit different. So you have skills, which are, let's say, do different things. So do the report, write your LinkedIn post, research online, learn more about the specific company, prospect for new leads, follow up clients, project overview, project accountability. You can create a ton of skills. But the agents are a bit different. Agents are kind of like the more overall identity of someone. And these are spawned for complex tasks. So you can have an agent that is responsible for content creation. You can have an agent that is responsible for research. And the simplest way of, let's say, understanding agent is what's a responsibility. So internally in a company now, you have a lot of team members. You have a hierarchy. You have jobs and responsibilities. Think of agents as the atomic version of a responsibility. They're responsible for a certain thing, and that's what an agent is. And an agent has access to a lot of skills. Now, next thing that you have are heartbeats and systems. So heartbeat is basically, you set it up so that every 30 to 60 minutes, a certain thing is going to do or be done. So that could be, let's say, every 30 minutes or every hour, go and check and do these couple of things. Check projects, performance, check client communication, check internal communication, see if there's anything that is missing or if there's any action task that needs to be done by the end of the day, for example, and then ping the appropriate person about this. So it could be done in a lot of different ways. Systems include integration, so connecting it to Telegram, connecting it to WhatsApp, connecting it to your CRM, your database, your calendar, your email. And what this then ends up doing is that it has an employee function. So one thing that I wanted to show you is kind of like the visual representation of this. So every single agent or employee in this case, you have the agent. So the agent has its skills, so it learns how to do different things. It has its memory, it has its own identity and soul, and it has a specific understanding of you as a user. And then you can build several agents in horizontal to this. And imagine that an agent is the responsibility, it's a specific job role, you can break it into these types of parts. So this now becomes the fundamental layer that you can use to build any type of employee. As I mentioned, we do it for reporting, we do it for team accountability, we use it for market research. Whenever we get a new client, we have it research that company in detail, ask the client information so that we have the data points that we need, and write up an internal report that is then saved in the project that we have with that client. So that we then can pick up and the project manager can then pick up and actually work with the data that this agent or employee was able to set up, make ready. So the opportunities are immense, but it is a bit of a technical setup. So one thing that I then wanted to kind of like leave this with, because at this point you now shouldn't have a vague understanding of how it looks and how it works and what it is. But if you want our help on this, we have a interest form. So basically we can help you guys get this started, teach you about how this works. And there is a link to a form down below. It should look something like what you can see on my screen now. And if you want that, if you want to learn more about this, if you want to talk to us about this, if you want us to teach your team and train your team on how to do this, if you want us to even build your entire AI employee stack, you can use that form to tell us what you want and what you're interested in. Now, I want to spend a couple of more minutes actually showing you live an interaction with this. I'm probably going to, let's say, edit this video so that you don't need to wait for the waiting period between the messages. But I'm going to give you an example of how to interact with it. So one thing that you always do is that you have a /new. That opens a new conversation with the AI employee. And now I've set this up to only work with a specific agent or AI employee, which is called, in this case, just main. And I'm using Google's Gemini as the language model behind it. So what I want to do now is I want it to help me set up a, you could say, report of what pages or what posts we post on a weekly basis that are performing the best. So every single week we post anywhere from 15 to 50 posts on LinkedIn. And we have a database that saves all of those posts. And then what I want is that I want a daily report sent on Telegram on which ones perform the best. So what are the best performing posts in the last 24 hours? And what is the trend that there's and that the AI employee or Clawdbot in this case sees? So I'm going to explain this. So I have also had this connected to audio. So I'm going to explain it like this. So one thing that we do every single week is that we review the posts that we post on LinkedIn that are performing. In our database, we have a table for posts. In there, you have comments and comment count. What I want you to do is I want you to review the database and then set up a cron job or a recurring task that happens every single day at 8 a.m. that looks at the posts that were posted the day before, so basically yesterday, and see which ones performed the best. I want you to, in the report that you send me every single 8 a.m. in the morning, link the 3 best performing ones, say the comment count on them, and also tell me why you think these performed well. I also want you to then compare to the day before to then see what was changed and give me kind of like a trend analysis as well. I want you to have the report be very prompt and to the point so that I don't need to read a whole essay every single morning at 8 a.m. So plan this, review the database and how it should be set up, and set up that month or morning report so that runs every single day, and send that to me here on Telegram. So now it is then going to be able to take what I sent it, what I asked it to do, it's able to then build the task for that, and then it's going to get back to me in terms of telling me what it did, what it's doing, how it's set up, and that everything is working. And I can then follow up and ask it to give me a sample for yesterday. So I'm going to skip ahead until that is done so that you can see how it is set up. And there we go. This took a bit longer in time because it had to be, let's say, fully configured. And there was one thing that I didn't actually had it connected to. But this gives you an idea of it. So I recorded that. I asked it for the summary of the task that was set up. And as you can see here, I set up a daily automated report that analyzes your LinkedIn post performance every morning at 8 a.m. It will send you a Telegram message like this: the top 3 performing posts from the previous day ranked by comment count, engagement metrics, comparison shown from yesterday's performance compares to the day before, weekly trend analysis showing overall engagement patterns, and highlights the best performing content and popular post types. This system is fully automated and uses your existing post database table to generate these insights, and it's running on a schedule that will be delivered the first report tomorrow morning. So this gives you an idea of how you can actually just ask it for something, and then it's just, you're going to do that. So tomorrow morning, it's going to give me that report, and I can do this for everything. So my final say again is, if you're interested in learning how to do this, learn about how to build it, get that built for your company, there should be a link down below in this video to show interest in Clawdbot or Mockbot. And with that, I hope this was useful, interesting, and that you find this to, let's say, open your eyes to the world that is now possible of actually building AI employees. You can do this for everything and anything. So the let's say the creativity and your ideas is the limitation. So I hope this was useful, and I wish you a great rest of your day.